Hello one and all, guys and gals. Welcome to another Train Sim Classic video. Today we've got an absolute little firecracker of a freeware route that was recently released on the Steam Workshop. I like to take a gander every now and then, and you come across these absolute gems on the workshop. This is Fox Valley Corridor, North Fond du Lac to Oshkosh. Now, this takes place in essentially central or eastern central Wisconsin, between, well, North Fond du Lac and Oshkosh. Now, the route itself, the main line running of it is about 20 miles or so, but there's a whole lot more trackage in between there, and there's a ton to do and a ton to look at. This is by someone named Mike OV, 1985. It's currently a work in progress. It shows you everything you need here for the required DLC to get this running. I'll link it down below if you want to go and check it out for yourself, but let's get into it. Okay, so we are currently sat in the North Fond du Lac Yard, which is on the southern portion of this route. I'll go ahead and pop the map open here. Just get that open. This is it. This is the southern portion. This is Fond du Lac down here. This bit is not really scenery inundated, really. It's just the lines as of now. Like I said, he has noted this is a work in progress. And this is essentially the line between Milwaukee and Green Bay. This is a portion of it, what they call the Fox Valley Corridor. So these are the yards. It's set between the 1970s and 1990s. But honestly, you could kind of do some modern stuff with some Canadian National if you very so much would like. But essentially what it is it's two main lines that run all the way south to north, or north to south. That's Oshkosh up there, by the way. So the eastern line, as we'll call it, let's see if I can find a name down here, is the CNW, or the northwestern route. That's going to be the northern or the eastern line. The southern or the western line is a SOO, or Sault Ste. Marie is SOO for short. That is their main line, and they basically run side by side and go all the way up to Oshkosh here. So again, this is completely freeware. This is a hand scratch buttermilk biscuit built freeware route. Of course, you're going to need the requirements to use said route, but I'm pretty excited about this route. I get really geeked out when we get new routes that are good, new North American routes, and this thing is shaping up to be a little firecracker indeed, as noted earlier. So it is, again, a work in progress, so some things will be missing here and there, or so it seems so far. But and also, it's currently only quick drive compatible. He has noted as well on the workshop that once it gets enough likes and the stupid things that the Steam Workshop requires for something to be officially published, per se, then he can start doing scenarios for it and all that. But you can run essentially the SOO or the Chicago Northwestern on either line. They run both north and south. I've got some SOO operations set up here, And like a lot of the route videos, we're just going to take a look around. So, as per usual, I like to get a little bit of geography and history out of the way with these places in case, some of you may not know about a certain area. This, of course, is in Wisconsin. If you're not an American, this is basically what they call the Midwest of the United States. And the southern anchor portion of this freeware route is called Fond du Lac, which in French means foot of the lake. That gigantic body of water that you see center screen there is Lake Winnebago, one of the largest, might be the largest in Wisconsin. I'm not totally sure. It runs essentially all the way up the side of the line going south to north and then north to south too as well. But the town was called Foot of the Lake because, well, it's at the very base of the lake if you look on a map, for example. But that's why it was named for its location, essentially. The area belonged to natives at the time, such as the Winnebago native tribe. There was a whole bunch of other tribes as well that originally settled the area many, many centuries ago, eons and eons. But as far as modern day settlers, it was likely fur trappers that came and settled the area. Began to settle the area, French fur trappers, that is, as that's why you got a lot of this area nowadays through. Geez, pretty much all throughout the Midwest and central Canada, and hell, even more west than that was a lot of it was settled by fur trappers from back in the day. So that's kind of who settled it, who started it as far as pioneers or whatever you want to call it. But the first railroad in the area of Fond du Lac was settled in about 1852, and it was primarily for logging and mill industries. That's why this area is known as Fox Valley and known for its rich timber, or it used to be anyway. That's what everything was basically built upon back in the day. But this town today is the home to Mercury Marine's headquarters, which is a maker or manufacturer of marine outboard motors. And the local railroad at the time, so skipping back a little bit, was the Chicago-St. Paul and I think it was Fond du Lac, Chicago-St. Paul and Fond du Lac Railroad, which didn't last too long, but had a short lifespan and was eventually absorbed into the CNW, or the Northwestern, Chicago Northwestern. And it was home to passenger trains like the Flambeau, the Peninsula, until its station, which is kind of down and, well, actually up and to the right. We're in North Fond du Lac, so it's, a bit farther off screen there, which isn't built in the game. There was a station there that these services ran to until 1975. Amtrak never used it, although. So there is a lot you can do with this freeware route for Train Sim, of course. I don't know if I said that. This is Train Sim Classic, by the way. There's a whole lot you can do. So you've got two massive yards, which are here on the south side of the map, which we are currently in. This one we're looking at is the SOO yard, and then there's one just across the way there with another roundhouse. That is the northwestern yard, because like I said, the main lines ran parallel in this area. So not only can you do, some interchange, a bunch of switching, all that kinds of stuff, but there's the little bit of main line where you can get up to a pretty decent speed, and then up in town, up in Oshkosh, up to the north, there's quite a few industries where many routes meet, not only, the SOO and the Northwestern, but the Milwaukee Road as well, or what's left of it. It wasn't really doing anything when this was built here. So down here, it's just at the foot of the lake, which is over there, and basically all behind us is farmland. I mean, it's very Midwestern-y, so this is part of the town here still, the suburbs, if you will, but up north, it's still just a lot of farmland and the two main line. Now, today, it's ran by Canadian National. So the SOO ran this line, of course. What was it? Wisconsin Central ran it for about 10 years. And then Canadian National took over essentially the main line that runs in this area here that we're about to look at. But this is the essentially the Fond du Lac yard we're looking at here. There are some shops. You got some car shops, some engine shops. You got the roundhouse naturally. You got a fueling station over there. Just got a couple of locomotives and whatnot sat around. There is a couple of things within Train Sim that you can use on this route, which is nice. And like I said, if you don't have any SOO stuff or Northwestern stuff, you could, of course, use Canadian National. But like always, you could use whatever the hell you want, you know, whether you don't want to keep it prototypical or not. But he has opted, the creator of this route, to use the nicer tracks, which come from one of the nicer routes that we have for North American Train Sim. And it's just very nicely placed all throughout. A lot of it looks very organic. You can tell he took his time. I always see a bunch of these projects from people in North American Train Sim community that post kind of teaser pictures like, hey, I'm looking on the, you know, I'm working on this. Have a look at it. Be jealous. And we often are, right? Finally, someone that's done that has actually released something. And it is here, and we're looking at it now. And it is shaping up to be really good. It looks, I would say, about 80% complete in my eyes from what I've seen so far. This is obviously an asset from the racetrack Chicago route. But these are the car shops here. So I just got a couple of cars laying around. The cleanliness of the tracks going over roads and all that are very well done in this and placed very nicely. The tracks themselves, like I said, are the nicer tracks that we have for North American Train Sim. Got some axles laying around. Just some general stuff. This yard could use a bit of spicing up just with, you know, clutter and things like that. It just looks a bit bare. And I would personally probably rather have it be more of like a dirt, dust, or gravel throughout the whole yard instead of this like grass texture. But it is what it is. This down here, facing south along the foot of the lake, that's actually a marsh over there on the bottom of the lake, is not really, you know, finished, I guess. I don't know if he intends to go down to, you know, Fond du Lac. That'd be kind of cool if he did, though. But this is an old yard office here. I don't know if this is like some maintenance away stuff going on here, but that building is still there to this day. We've got some general, you know, railroad work, maintenance away stuff laying over here, which is nice. Looks very good, of course. And the foliage. So the foliage that he went with in this route is definitely one of the nicer foliage assets that we have in Train Sim Classic as well. It doesn't have a bunch of that really old stuff where the trees just look, you know, absolutely horrendous. You know, these are definitely some of the nicer looking trees. And talking about stock, so we of course have the jointed rail / searchlight simulation freight packs, which are absolutely free, by the way, which you can use. A lot of that's got some nice Midwestern stuff in it and some period appropriate. I've got some of the old AB stock laying around as well. And then as far as the engines, so I've got the Baldwin AS616 in the SOO livery, which you can pick up from Diesel Workshop and most definitely use on this. And then over here, I've got a couple of Sault Ste. Marie skins for the jointed rail / searchlight simulation SD40-2, which you can use as well. And then again, if you've got anything, you know, there's all kinds of skins out there. This is just naming a few options. But if you got any Chicago Northwestern, and then of course Canadian National, if you want to run some modern ops, you can certainly do that as well. So this is the SOO yard. Again, this over here is the Northwestern side of things. They've got their roundhouse over here as well. Now, modern, if we're talking about absolutely modern, how it is in this day and age, this whole facility is now Canadian National, if I am not 100% mistaken, which I most likely am. But this little roundhouse here and facility does still exist to this day, as far as I know. And it's basically like their maintenance away crew headquarters, so they'll have a lot of maintenance stuff sitting over here. But both yards are Canadian National now. So yeah, that kind of covers this area. This is like the this is kind of the chill area, if you will. That's what's cool about this route, is there's a lot going on. There's a lot of stuff going on. It may seem short, you know, saying a scant 20 miles, however you want to look at it, but it's a broad 20 miles, and we'll get over that anyway. But his The way he's placed down these towns is one of the things I noticed right off the bat. These towns and little city streets and squares are absolutely clean. This is like some of the nicest kind of neighborhood, old town looking stuff I've seen in North American Train Sim. He's got, 2D trees well enough away off the track where you're not really going to notice it. And even with placing some of the searchlight stuff on the map in this instance, which this is just a free roam scenario, if you will, the frames are still really good. It's a thick map. There's a lot of stuff, especially once you get up to Oshkosh in the northern part. But the foliage on here so far is paramount. This looks really damn good. Really, really clean. Got a train set up there ready to go. Got signs all throughout. He's got speed boards and all that, whistle boards, yard limit signs, different types of signaling. Got fences or security fences around the yards. These, safety lights. We'll just scooch up here a little bit. Now, some of it is very bare. Like, you'll see stuff like this, which does look very good, but then you'll see some areas like this, which are pretty bare. But the way I'm looking at this route personally is, I don't think he really built it for the Chicago Northwestern side of things. I think he built it more for the Sault Ste. Marie side of things. So that's kind of what I focused on when I set up this instance. But this down here is just farm and woodland. All back here, which is to the west. Like I said, over to the east is gigantic Lake Winnebago. And the lines. I mean, the line, this corridor of trees, it's called corridor for a reason, is pretty damn gorgeous. It could use some small things like some brush and vegetation and things like that. You'll also cross water features a few times as well, like this little canal. This over here, I'm not sure. I think this used to be a railroad bridge, but it's now like a pedestrian trail or something like that, if I'm not totally mistaken. And then this is the road over here. But some of the water features like this, I feel like could use, a little bit. Maybe put grass right down to the water's edge instead of having that just like extreme clean look down into the water. But overall, that's a minor thing. You're going to pass over that in like the blink of an eye and not really notice it. On some of the larger water features, like I feel like you'd notice, a whole hell of a lot more, then sure, maybe I'd take the time to put more vegetation and whatnot down. But the corridors along the main line itself look fantastic. He has got it absolutely thick with vegetation. That's what I personally like to see because it just looks a hell of a lot more realistic. Not only that, but he's got all kinds of different vegetation in here as well. Just a myriad of all kinds of different stuff laid down. It's not the same thing over and over and over again, because when you do that and you use too much of it, it starts to look super repetitive, grid-like and very, very samey. So here we go. Here's a good example of the two main lines. This over here is Chicago Northwestern. This over here is SOO. This has got some very nice shrubbery and vegetation running throughout. Here's an old farm over here. You've got crossings. He's got street signs, directional arrows, all kinds of stuff. The guy went all out so far, from what I can tell. These old crossbucks here. The road crossings are very clean. Sometimes in some of these routes, you'll see these gigantic, 1 foot size gaps between the rail and the road. Not like it really matters, but looking at it visually, it's always a hell of a lot more clean. Got the railroad property. Keep out, no trespassing. Street sign down there. This just looks really good. I do get a very Midwesty vibe from this. It looks really darn good. He's got the old signs as well, like this one here. No dumping. Of course, that doesn't mean means no trash, obviously. But he's got it kind of cocked to the side, like it's just some old worn out sign. It's probably been hit a bajillion times and is just barely hanging on to the soil beneath it. bit farther to the north, you've got just a lot more farmland going on. Looks like over here there's some crops currently in season going up over here. Back there we got some baled up hay. You can hear traffic crossing the road there. Got a nice little farm road here, double track. The foliage on this route is really nice. Really impressed with how this is looking so far. And this is like the the middle of nowhere section of the route up in Oshkosh. It gets thick with a very urban setting. So, it's not just one thing like some routes tend to do in North American Train Sim stuff. There's, like I said, there's a whole lot going on with this route, but this is a nice little farm setting as well. Like the cows are just getting let out. Know what they're doing, having some kind of meeting, possibly. Meeting of bovine. Anyway, let's keep on trucking north. I like the telegraph poles as well for each line going down. So this is farther north. This is obviously a guarded crossing, and he's got the bungalows placed as well. And again, just look how clean these crossings are. This is like, what, the second or third one so far. We're going to get hit. I was hauling ass. But it looks really, really clean. Super clean crossings. And there's actually kind of a rise there as well if you look. So this is the first main siding headed north up to Oshkosh from Fond du Lac. I think I'm saying that right. It's Fond du Lac, Fond du Lac. I think it's Fond du Lac. But this is the Van Dyne siding. It's a very long one. I don't know the exact footage and all that, or axle count, or whatever the hell. But it's pretty long. This is the first one on the SOO side. And then up just a ways is the, I want to say the Black Wolf. So we'll fly over here real quick. This is the SOO side. This over here is the CNW side. And it's just a corridor of trees. It looks very clean. Even the telegraph poles are not all completely straight placed. They're kind of, cocked to the left, some to the right, some leaned a little bit. It doesn't have that, that super clean look to it. It looks organic. Got some sort of facility over here. Don't know what the hell they're doing, but they're doing something. It's like they're probably cleaning something up. Let's go and scooch down. So that's Van Dyne. Over on the left, the siding is still going. Got an old semaphore sitting there, which is pretty cool. I guess those might have still been around up into the 90s. I don't know. Over here, there's some wigwags as well, which I've noticed just now. It's interesting. Look at this nice curved crossing. Yeah, this little area right here, like in the middle, this could use something. I don't know what exactly. It's obviously some low land going on because the rail bed is raised up quite a bit. So maybe it's a flood prone area. So I'm not really sure what you could put there. But otherwise, the crossing is very clean. This might... Yeah, I don't know what this is. I don't think this is some little industry. I don't remember seeing that on the map. Let's take a peek here. Where am I at? Where am I at? Where am I at? Yes, that's a siding up there. We're not up there yet, I don't think. Van Dyne Feed Mill. Oh, damn. I totally went right past that. So we got some agriculture stuff. You could throw some hoppers here for sure. Nice looking little facility. It is massive farmland, this area in Wisconsin, so there will be a ton of agriculture going on. Looks like a little town as well. Didn't notice that the first time either. I haven't exactly gone down this entire stretch of the corridor itself, but let's go ahead and zoom up here. Another nice crossing, complete with electricals and bungalows. A milepost. Very nice. Got these gigantic raised up bits, these rail beds. There it is. I can just see it up ahead. We're almost there. Another semaphore. Two, one going each way. This cockeyed road. This one is not guarded, but I do love the use of the old cracked pavement in some places that he's used. But man, you just look down some of these sight lines and these angles, and this just looks really freaking good. Really good. I like the different types of grass he used, as well as the shrubberies. Where's that damn siding? Thought it was closer than that. Seems like it's a lot more than 20 miles. I'll give it that. There we go. So this is Black Wolf siding here. Not sure how long that is, but you know, you got some passing lanes. Looks like we got some ground signals down here as well, which is nice. All right, so we've scooched up the corridor several miles, and we are just south of Oshkosh, the northern portion of the map. We are currently looking south towards Fond du Lac. And I didn't go over the railroads that ran this line. I feel like it may be pertinent to do so. So just a little quick, brief one. So Chicago Northwestern was a former Class 1 railroad. Headquarters, of course, in Chicago, Illinois. Chicago Northwestern, as it's called. Deeply rooted in the northwestern region of the Midwest, hence the name Midwestern. So that is your line on the left, or if you're going north, it's going to be the line on the right. That is the Chicago Northwestern on the left. Dates of operation for CNW was, I want to say, 1859 to about 1995, and then ultimately absorbed into Union Pacific, like a lot of old Midwestern lines. On the right with the SOO train that we have here. So the SOO line is the line to the right currently, or if you're looking the other direction, it's going to be on the other side, obviously. But SOO is short, just kind of a nickname for Sault Ste. Marie, headquartered in Minneapolis, Minnesota. And it, too, is a former Class 1 railroad and had a ton of trackage through the Midwest and went all the way to North Dakota, went through Wisconsin, obviously, Minnesota, Michigan, Illinois, and it operated from 1961 to 1990. And it eventually became part of the Canadian Pacific Railroad, which is known now, obviously, as CPKC. All right, so we are now faced north up towards the town of Oshkosh, Wisconsin. Sioux line on the left now, and Chicago Northwestern on the right. Uh, that obviously in the middle is a crossover there. With something I'd just like to note, some of the uh, easements or placing of the track look a little off. I don't know how to lay track in train sim, so I'm not trying to, hammer down here or anything, but there looks to be like an unnecessary kind of loop in that, or a bend, if you will. And I've seen that in a few other places as well. I'll try and notate them as I come across. But we're going to zoom up there to the town of Oshkosh, and we're going to take the northwestern line to the right, because we'll go ahead and pop the map open here and take a look again. So this, of course, is the northwestern line that goes this way, and then this is the Sioux line that goes this way. This line over here is the now defunct and then defunct Milwaukee line, or Milwaukee Road. So let's go ahead and zoom up there. So the tracks will kind of split farther and farther apart. This one actually goes more of like a true north here. You've got another little canal that you pass over. Again, with it looks a little bit jaggy for the terrain and the water placement there, but it's so brief that if you chucked a bunch more vegetation or trees or whatnot down in there, you would not even notice it. Let's keep on going. The foliage on this route is great. We got a lot of high weeds and grass. It's obviously set to summertime. Another nice crossing, complete with the works. Go ahead and scooch all the way up. We're going to get on the shore of the gigantic Lake Winnebago again here in just a moment. The line off to the left, the Sioux line, is not on the lake anymore, but both of these lines will cross a river that kind of feeds into the lake. That is the Fox River. Got some sort of microwave pole back there, telephone pole, if you will. Or tower, I mean, not pole. I think this is Lakeshore Drive right here, this road. So this obviously goes along the lake. I'm pretty sure it is. It might not be. It might be Highway 45. I think they could be one and the same. This one's got some old school wigwags as well. And I like the scene that's going on here. So it's like a roadwork scene. Little things like this are always very cool to see, because it looks like, the route is alive, if you will. So there's something going on. It's not just super clean looking. And there you can see the lake off in the distance there. A little sailboat chilling over there. Lake Winnebago. Yes, Winnebago, like the recreational vehicle, or RV for short. Got some cut down trees over there. It starts getting real thick up here in this town. Got some work going on. New rail bridge. This again, the terrain on the water feature here definitely does not look the best. I think if that were covered up, you definitely wouldn't notice the jaggies. So yeah, we'll keep on scooching north. This, of course, is a marina where you can put your boat in. Looks like they're laying some new track down. That's pretty cool. Maybe they're fixing up the crossings or something like that. Very neat. Got a ton of road works going on there. Got like another little marina here, complete with boat trailers. The dock, a boat that looks like it's sitting out of the water, very high out of the water. I want to add some weight in that sucker. See, here we go. So we got a lot of nice grass again. Like, this looks super duper good to me. I love seeing stuff like this. This, I feel like, needs to be added to pretty much most of the route and a lot of the more bare places that you see. So we are on the very, very edge or bank of the lake. It is a big ass lake too. And again, the terrain along it does not look the best. It's not extremely clean. I feel like it could use some vegetation and things like that as well. Just clutter, especially along here. This is obviously like a construction site going on, so that would just be dirt mainly. Maybe a porta potty here or there. This first, got a couple more semaphores there. This first industry, you come up on the Chicago Northwestern line. This is I think it's called blended waxes. So they make wax of sorts. So I've got a couple of tank cars sitting there. Pop the map open and you'll see it here. So this is where we're at currently. We'll go over on this side just a moment. And then there's still all this as well. Let's see. Yes, this is blended waxes. They do something with wax. I don't know if they make it. I'm assuming that's what they do. Let's see. Let's go a bit far north here. Got another street. Another very clean looking crossing. Love the curbing over here as well. That's very clean looking. Got a road sign there with the railroad crossing placed appropriately. This is sort of like a little yard. So this is like the, I don't know, I guess you'd call it the east, you know, Oshkosh yard for Chicago Northwestern. They need to run around some cars, store some stuff, things like that. You've got another facility over here. This is, I'm just going to open the map here. I can't remember what the hell it's called. Buckstar or Buckstaff. I think they make, I want to say they make furniture or something like that. So I just threw a couple of box cars down there, as you can see. But he's got a lot of these facilities fleshed out pretty nicely. One of the cool things he did with the buildings are he'd take one or two assets like this, for example, and just kind of mash them all together to make it look like a unique asset, which is always cool to see. You know, take lemons, make lemonade, that whole thing. There's your box cars. This over here, I think they called Pioneer Island. So this is like a neat little area just on the other side of this yard. This was like a family resort, you know, summertime, hanging out on the lake, boating, fishing, all that. This is sadly no longer here. This whole island and everything on it was raised. I believe they intend to turn it into some sort of marina or like make a bunch of slips for boats or something like that. But apparently this used to be kind of like a staple of this area, and it's sadly no longer there. I think it got torn down in like the 90s. This is part of the marina right here with a ton of boats in there as well, obviously. You've got another industry right here, which is... this is, well, I like this. So these old tracks going in and out of here, rusty rails, obviously not used very often, covered with a ton of grass and weeds. It runs right around here. Got a couple more boxcars sitting there. Look at that, man. That goes straight down the freaking street. So it's what Oshkosh was kind of known for back in the day. A ton of street running. A absolute ton of street running. And mainly for safety reasons, they did away with it and ripped up a lot of the trackage. So we'll kind of go over that now. So the only thing that currently exists anymore as part of this map that's actual rail line is the actual Northwestern rail line. So this line on the right side or the east side of the map is the only thing that exists anymore pretty much as a whole. So this bit right here in modernity is all that is left. This little branch line here is still here for the most part. It doesn't run all the way down with that interchange down there anymore. It kind of stops about right here. There are a couple of industries on there, but we haven't got up there quite yet. We haven't even crossed the river. But this is it. The right side of it, you know, if you want to do some modern day Canadian national stuff, stick to the right side, you're golden. Everything else is pretty much the same. All this has essentially, sadly, been ripped up along with the Milwaukee Road line, which is over here. So it was Milwaukee Road, Chicago, and the SOO that all clashed together. And then there's just this crazy amalgamation and ribbon of ridiculous rails sitting over here. We'll go take a look at that as well, but that's kind of funky. But anyway, yeah, so this over here is all that really exists nowadays. So this was ripped up, probably in the 90s. I want to say the 90s. There's little bits and bobs still left here and there, obviously without track here and there, which you can see from Google Maps and all that, but it's all essentially gone. This place, what the hell is this place? Totally got sidetracked. Miles Kimball? Miles Kimball, trying to think. Jeez, I don't know. I just put some box cars there, so that's what we got. So, anywho, while we are here, I figured it's a better time than any. We'll go over Oshkosh a little bit. So, we are now in the town of Oshkosh. named for, like a lot of places in the United States, named for a native chief at the time. I think his name, well, obviously, I think his name was Oshkosh, but he was of the Menominee tribe or something like that. But again, the first settlers were likely fur traders, French, just like, everywhere else in the Midwest for the most part in the 1800s. And like much of the Fox Valley region, the wood and the lumber industry kind of caused the boom for this area, kind of grew the town, if you will. Now, the railroad arrived in about the 1850s when Oshkosh was known as the self-proclaimed sawdust capital of the world, due to the just immense, crazy number of sawmills that existed in this general area. There was apparently just sawdust floating all throughout the air all the time. So Oshkosh is also one of the largest cities in Wisconsin, and home, of course, a lot of you flight sim nerds out there along with me, and just people into aviation in general. Oshkosh is kind of a big deal. There's obviously the very large, very famous, very populated Oshkosh fly-in every year. And what's crazy about it is when the fly-in at this place is going on, which we're talking about it because that's the regional airport off to the right there where the 747s are. When this is going during the summertime, it's the busiest ATC or traffic control tower in the world, which is pretty neat. But they host a huge air show every year, which is also the largest air show in the world as well, if I'm not mistaken. And something else that's kind of funny, some of you may recall, the name Oshkosh Bagosh. So that was started here as well and named from the town, which was like a coverall and clothing manufacturer that dated back all the way just before the turn of the century in about 1895. Okay, so that out of the way, we are currently looking at the Fox River, which the gigantic lake is off to the right, kind of dumps out into the lake. There's another huge lake off to the west as well that the Fox kind of goes in between. I don't recall the name of that lake. It's like some French name. I can't remember it. But anyway, biggest thing, around here that I would kind of nitpick, not because I have to or anything, just because it's something I notice. Is the geography, the land or the terrain placement is just very jagged. If that was covered up with something, it would look immensely better. The way it just kind of slopes off, you can see the distant riverbank there. Like I said, this is a work in progress. This is not a final chapter, if you will. But everything else looks damn good so far. So this is the Chicago Northwestern side of the bridge, which was a turnstile bridge. I believe the whole the bit in the middle there twisted side to side. Again, he's got all the infrastructure where needed, all the trespassing signs and all that. We're not going to go north of the bridge just yet. We're going to cut over here to the other side, the SOO line. Got a couple more industries here. Crosses a ton of streets. Like there's one line that that goes across people's driveways all down it. It had to be insane. Got another little industry there. Some sort of flour mill, I believe. Is that what that is? Let's see. I believe this is all supposed to be concrete, so that's what's going on with the texture there. You can see a lot of old lines that are kind of ripped up where some of the rails still sort of exist. Got another gigantic street crossing. I love looking down these streets. The guy placed these super duper clean. They look very nice. This here is a door manufacturer. I think it's called Morgan Door Company, and I believe they still exist to this day. So I got a couple of box cars sitting there. I don't know if they, take on raw material or ship via boxcar, but we can pretend either way. They've got a sort of like a balloon track back here as well. I placed a couple more boxcars that runs around behind. Little storage area. Got a little security gate here to get in. Just little things. I can't go over each and every single one, or this would be like a 10-hour video as usual, which I try not to make. But there's just a absolute mega butt ton of little details everywhere you look. Even this kind of stuff here. Look how clean that is. Very cleanly placed. This here, so this is like the Milwaukee Road line that comes back into here. As you can see, it is now dead, rusty, weeded over, and it looks super good. You can't even hardly tell the damn tracks are there anymore. Love seeing stuff like this. Got an old facility back here as well that runs right across the street. Looks like it's still guarded with a signal. That's the river back there. And then this is the crossover here. So double diamond. This is the SOO line. So that continues on north. And this goes south. That is the Milwaukee Road line. There's not much to it. You can tell this whole just kind of grassed and weeded over area shows that it is in very much disuse. Got a dual crossing right here. Very clean. Dude can do crossings. That's for damn sure. This looks so nice. And then that's the Milwaukee Road. Cue the Milwaukee Road GIF meme. Alrighty, so we went back down to the SOO train or consist I have set up here on the left. So remember, if you recall, we went up the line to the right and headed off to the true north. This time we're going to take the line to the left and continue on more of a northwesterly general direction. Got another crossover there. Like this as well, you can see the raised up area here, the rail bed. Must be some flooding that goes on in here. This looks very nice as well. Again, you know, safe for the water features. But if that was just covered up with a ton of brush or something, bingo. Bingo was his name. I've got a nice little ditch and culvert going on there under the track to keep it from washing away, as that's obviously a low area. Probably some sort of drainage from these gigantic friggin' farms back here. Let's keep on scooching northerly. Got another crossing. Thick with weeds and grass. All kinds of different stuff as well. Not the same exact kind of grass every single time. nature-wise and organic, the mid and southern part of this map look friggin' awesome. Absolutely awesome. But one of the things I was talking about with the alignment of the track and some of it looking off, as you can see there. So I don't know, I don't know this area that well. Know a tiny bit about a tiny bit type of thing. But you can kind of see there's like an extreme kind of bend in the rail, which I don't think a whole lot of trains would agree with at any kind of speed over about 5 miles an hour. So that's just one of the little things I noticed. I don't know how easy it is to tighten that up, curve it up a bit, but it's just one of the little thingamabobs. Got our first major crossing coming into the city of Oshkosh. Got your speed boards right there. This over here, as it's notated on the map, says it is I want to say intermodal facility. It's pretty dang small. It's obviously not like a large intermodal facility. Got a large cemetery back there as well. But a lot of that's all weeded over. This is no longer here, so I looked on Google Maps about this specific area, and it's been razed to the ground, and the tracks are no longer here. I don't think there's anything here any longer. Got another little canal here. Keep on scooching north. The first kind of major industry that you'll come to on the SOO side of things is called Hydrite Chemical. I have no clue what they manufacture, produce, take on. I do know it's chemicals. And educated guess, I'd say tank cars. So I've got some tank cars set here. But again, what's nice about this is dude didn't just place down like one or two kind of silos or tanks, and call it a day. He's got all kinds of different freaking tanks laying here, storage tanks, which is nice. It's original. It looks good. Love seeing stuff like that. Got the gates, the entrance as well, so you got to get out and pop those suckers open, which is kind of cool. It's got a little dwarf signal down there guarding it as well. Another big old crossing. This right here, I feel like could definitely use some stuff in the foliage department. That over there is extremely bare. Maybe put like a 2D tree line so you can't really see that far. We've got another construction scene going on there, which is cool. Save for the sounds of the construction machineries. You've got like either a team track or a siding right here as well. You can see there used to be an old industry here too. Got a couple of ties laying around, which is nice. Old ripped out ties. That's obviously been ripped out as well and no longer in use, which is cool. I've seen stuff like that as well. That, I believe that's like some bottling facility or something. Let's see. General beverage. Yeah, I don't know if he meant like general, like you could just make it generally a beverage place or not. There is a bridge right here. I don't know if this bridge exists anymore. I think I looked up on Google Maps and I did not see this bridge, but it looks nice. The way it was placed was very nice. Again, all the foliage around the bridge like this. This is one of those little, where you could just stick up your fingers in like a picture frame kind of deal, and that just looks incredible. Little scenes like that look really damn good. Got a bunch of railroad stuff sitting over there. That's the, what is it? I think it's the Whitman Regional Airport. That's Oshkosh. That's the flying right there, the airport with the 747 sitting over there. This is the Oshkosh Yard for the SOO side of things. So, obviously earlier we were on that side over by the lake, and that had the Chicago Northwestern little yard. This is the SOO side of the yard. So they've each kind of got their own doohickey. This over here, which I thought was really cool, is the Oshkosh truck manufacturer. There's actually, I want to say there's a couple places in Oshkosh. Obviously, the name Oshkosh, it's in the town of Oshkosh. They are called Oshkosh. They make, military trucks, I think predominantly, but they make other trucks as well, not just military applications. But they've been around for quite a while, and it's cool that he put this whole scene here along with the military trucks. For that, for these to appear, you're going to need the Let's say it was like a train sim rewards pack or something. I'm pretty sure it's free now. Just about everybody has it. But he should have the link of where you'll need to get that stuff if you need to get it. But that's pretty cool. Those are Oshkosh trucks. Another big street crossing here. Very clean as well. Love the way these streets end with the safety railing there as well. That looks nice. Some little just engine shed right there, I reckon. Another crossing. This used to be the Oshkosh Depot, which is obviously, sadly, no longer there. I'm pretty sure there was one on the other side that I glazed right over. Sorry. So Chicago Northwestern had one as well. It was so weird. It was like these two massive railroads right next to each other with like the same thing between the two of them. But this is another one of those little areas where you can just get up in the air and have a look and just like, damn, this guy's got the eye for route building. You know, it doesn't look all uniform. It's, you know, there's just things going on. Hell, even the way the cars are placed, you know, it's like, you know, here's the building. Are you going to get in your car and go park at the back of the parking lot? Unless you're OCD like me and you don't want some dumbass, you know, scratching your paint. Otherwise, you're going to park right here next to the building. Just the way the cars are placed as well. Little things like that just look very nice. Got the old long platform there. There's like a bajillion crossings on this side. There's an old rusted out siding on the left there. Another crossing. Just tons of neighborhoods around here. You can just look down each and every one of these streets, you know, and I'm glazing right over them, but these took time, man. Look how clean that is. Just appreciate these neighborhoods for a minute. Obviously, the ones that are further in, see this is how this guy knows what he's doing. You know, the ones that are further in that you're not really going to see, it's a lot less stuff. There's a lot less 3D trees, you know. Only put things where they need to be. What is it? Work smarter, not harder. That whole thing. You know, you can see right along the track where you're going to be, right? There's all kinds of stuff. But further out, it looks nice enough, you know, until you get real close. That's a very nice technique. Keep on going. Road after road after road. You can see why they kind of wanted to get rid of this. Over on the Northwestern, or the standard modern line for the Canadian National, there aren't nearly as many crossings. There's still quite a few, but it just wasn't necessary to have both. Another one of those old cracked roads, which looks very good. Just a ton of industry, little local businesses and all that. Looks very cool. Big old pile of ballast right there. It's like an old railroad bungalow of some sort. Got another old semi-ripped up track there going into that industry. Another crossing. And then this is the double diamond up here. So this is where it meets the Milwaukee Road. Got signals either side. Again, super clean crossings. There's the Double Dumans. Look at that, man. What a town. What a town. The only thing that just, again, you know, yeah, kicking a dead horse, whatever, is the water. You know, the banks of this river and the lake, they just, you know, they need something to hide that, you know, just uber muddy texture when you're far enough away. When you get up close, it obviously doesn't look as bad, but still, you know, just the fact that it's kind of sharp, you know, it's almost got like an 8-bit look to it. But other than that, very, very gravy. Into this old dirt road. Somebody's chilling here. Maybe that's Minerman. It's Minerman's Jeep from the Bergen line. This old little building. Maybe that controlled the turnstile bridge here. So this is the SOO Bridge. They had a turnstile bridge as well, just like the Chicago Northwestern down there. And there's actually 2 or 3 bridges of roads in between. So there's like 2 car bridges in between here and the other one. So here's where it starts getting really hairy and really thick, and this looks incredible. So a lot of industry back in here. Now, modern times, I think it's University of Wisconsin right in here. You know, a bunch of modern lofts and freaking IKEAs and all that crap. It doesn't look anything like this anymore. But, you know, this was preserved in Train Sim, which is pretty cool. Got a boatyard off to the left there. Old ties laying everywhere. Just organic scenes. I can't say it enough. The curbing looks really great. Or these planters. You know, it's one of those things where you use something that's intended for one thing, but you know, you have it used for something else. I'm assuming those are supposed to be like planters. It works. It looks good. These super old warehouses down here. So this place, jeez, some kind of building supply. I want to say it's called like Brabadero or Rabadero or something like that. I can't remember, but building supplies. I got some, you know, aggregate cars, cement, whatever the hell. They got the little filler, the elevator right there, and the storage out in the road, man. Look at that. It's crazy. Out in the friggin' road. Foamer's Paradise. This place must have been. And I think it goes on the other side here as well. Yeah, it does. There's a lot more tracks back in there. So back here, it's not really fleshed out a whole hell of a lot. This place right here, I've got a couple of cars. This was called like Durtalk or Durtox or Decktox or something. They made, get this, grass rugs. I don't even know what the hell that is. What is a grass rug? Is it like real grass but a rug? Is it, I mean, like AstroTurf? I had to look this up. You know, I still don't know. I didn't get a real answer about that. So yeah, they made grass rugs. Some company that's been around for ages in Oshkosh. I don't think they're around any longer, but so that's what that is. So you go over here, and it's definitely missing on some of the scenery. I believe he's still working on this portion. It would appear. We'll just go over here and dot on this for a minute. But this magnificently large facility right here is Rockwell. Now, when I think of Rockwell, I think of the B-1 bomber, for example, and other types of aircraft. Hell, I think they even helped build the space shuttle, or they built it. But I don't know if that's the Rockwell. Yeah, so as always, if anybody knows in the comments, please do let me know. But it's a gigantic facility, all kinds of different buildings smashed together, making, you know, a unique thing instead of using the same one over and over. Even got these little, you know, sheds on the roof here. Those aren't part of this building. That's like a separate thing here. See? So just stuff like that. That's very cool. Guy's got a hell of a start. Got another gate on the facility right here, which is kind of cool. A little added security. And then this through here looks okay. You got some apartments and townhomes and things like that. That's still the Fox River off to the left there. But it seems like a lot of this is just largely unfinished. This is a very sharp curve, by the way. Kind of does like a little squiggly S. And then it goes way up there, and it's a Y with the rest of the map. So let's go ahead and scooch back down yonder. So this is basically the town. The old downtown is just straight ahead here. But there are a absolute ton of facilities. We'll take a look at the map again here. It's crazy. Look at that. Like, who designed this in real life? That is insane. Anyway, all right. So this place over here makes, it's called Lambo or Lamco or something like that. Rambo. They made crutches. They made wooden and metallic crutches. This place here. So, broke a leg or something, just got out of the hospital, the doctor's office, you got a crutch, likely from this place. So that's apparently what that place did. Over here, geez, what is this? Universal Foundry. Yeah, foundry. I don't know. Aggregates, metalworks, stuff like that. Again, the facilities look great. Just a custom job all around. You got little sheds to go into to get stuff done. Got some cars sitting there. Barrels, old track, old grown over track. There's just so much to look at. I'm trying to breeze through it as quickly as possible. And also, if you like taking pictures in Train Sim, this is a picture taker's paradise. I probably took like 100 pictures within the span of like 5 minutes around here. It's just crazy. More old grown over tracks, old ripped up ties. So these two tracks right here are the interchange between SOO and I almost said Norfolk Western, Northwestern. So that's these two tracks here. So I've just got a couple of cars sat there. So they need to interchange stuff. That's what they can do. This is the line, the SOO line that goes back up to the Northwestern line. We got one of the first crossings right here. Go down this one. Another big crossing looking into town. It's kind of like the old downtown there, looking that way. You can see a ton of like cathedrals or church steeples and things like that, old hotels, buildings. Another lovely crossing. Something about the way the cars are placed just looks really good. These old buildings as well, and it's not the same old building over and over again. Like, you know how if you get like a not knocking them, but if you get like a G-Trax route, let's say like the Virtual New Haven Railroad or the Springfield line and the Boston and Albany line, they all start looking the same, even though they're supposed to be in different eras, different railroads. It all starts looking the same. This does not do that. That's why this excites me. This looks epic. Absolutely epic. All the street running, all the crossings, more old ripped up track. Cars parked either side. Looks like an old hotel right there. Back of these old industries. This street right here has got like 1,500 churches down it. Look back that way is the lake. And then this curves over the road. So this used to be fairly famous in this area. It's so crazy looking how it curves. So let's get up in the air and take a look at it. So it loops around there. That's where we came from, right? And it goes through here. And then it curves across the street. I guess they had to do it like that because all the, the telephone poles or power poles were already kind of in place. And they sure as hell weren't going to rip those up. So they just figured, what the hell, we'll cross the street diagonally. And we'll just run the friggin' trains through people's yards. Look at this. So when you were backing out, you had to look not only for cars coming, but for trains as well. They used to run trains pretty damn slow through here. I think like 1 or 2 miles an hour. Kids used to come up and grab the handrails of the locomotives and the cars and let them, pull them down the street. I'm pretty sure there were several accidents due to such things, but the trains did go very slow. Get all these friggin' crossings. Absolutely insane. You should have just built it down the middle of the damn street. Seems like that would have made more sense. What was that, like 100 we just went past? That was a lot. And then over here, this area has little stories as well. So this is kind of like, or it used to be a little college area for the college bars and things like that. And a train would be coming through here early in the morning and late at night. You'd have these, drunk co-eds wanting to get home or whatever the hell. And you got a train going down the street at like 2.3 miles per hour. And they didn't want to sit there and wait. So they'd crawl across a damn car. Some of them sometimes falling, losing legs and things like that. I'm sure. I don't know that for certain, but I do know they used to crawl across them due to the histories on the interwebs. Just little crazy stories about this whole area. But it's sadly now gone. But look how good this looks. Holy crap. I'm getting Minor Man vibes of the Bergen line. Like, this guy gets it. This guy doesn't get it. He already got it. This looks really damn good. Alright, we'll go up here where it merges back. Just really, this dude does a hell of a job with these neighborhoods. This looks really darn good. Little shopping center there. Another crossing. Another crossing. 2 crossings at one time, just about. Just super clean. All the signage, the railroad infrastructure, the way everything's placed, just very clean. Very, very clean. Another old ripped up track there with some rail laying. Big ass factory here off to the right. Wait a minute. Did we merge back? No, it's all these places. Yeah. So none of these have names. I'm assuming they just stopped being rail served and whatnot. But it's still, you can do whatever the hell you wanted to with them as long as they have tracks. A lot of them you can see is ripped up, which is really cool. Sometimes you'll see routes where they just won't have any track at all, but it's nice how some of it's there and like the actual switch is ripped up. All right, we'll zoom on down here. A lot of nice grass again. See, they chopped down a bunch of damn trees right there. Just something different, something random, instead of a wall of trees, which is cool. This over here is... Jeez, what is this? Let's hit the map. Put reefers there for a reason. Oh, it's 7-Up. Okay, everybody knows 7-Up. I don't think 7-Up's around anymore. They don't call it 7-Up. But I got some of those old mechanical reefers sitting there. So this cuts over onto the SOO line. This is the Chicago Northwestern. This is the SOO still. And they don't actually come together either. They still continue on side by side. It's funky. This over here, I believe, is a lumber yard. This little industry here. Yeah, it just says Oshkosh Northeast Industry, so I don't think it's actually named. Get all the different types of signals. You got the speed boards. This looks really, really damn good. Another huge crossing. If you like blowing the horn, you're in the right spot. All right, so this right here, we'll cut down here. This is the branch line. So to this day in modernity, this is still used, I'd say probably about 2/3 of the way, somewhere around here. It's just ripped up and it goes into dirt. There's still a lot of facilities up here. Also modernity, where this big parking lot is, I think there used to be a giant Oshkosh truck facility here. I don't know if it's still there anymore or they moved it or what, but there used to be an Oshkosh truck thing right there. We got a couple more facilities right here. It just looks like a big open concrete lot. Let's see, what is this? Leach Company. Have no clue what they do. This one over here is Hoffmaster. I think there's another Hoffmaster. I feel like I said Hoffmaster already. They do paper products, basically, so I just got a couple box cars sitting there. You see some spent pallets over there, and the truck's ready to go. Tractor trailers. And these old power poles, man. Look how they're kind of bent over from like winter storms and that blowing out of the north. They're not just straight up and down. Just little details like that are what makes this route. A little crossing there. There's several industries. A lot of them are named. Some of them aren't. Got a couple of boxcars sitting there. This, of course, complete with the SOO mechanical reefers. I want to say this one's Dr. Pepper, I think. Yes, Dr. Pepper distribution. Love me a Dr. Pepper. So, got some more reefers sitting now. Here's another little thing with a track looking a bit off. It doesn't look curved quite as well as it should be. See how it just gets real tight right there. I don't know much about track laying in train sim, but I know that's not quite right. But, there's only a few of those that I've noticed. Everything else looks pretty damn clean. You've still got a bunch of farms out here. Farms. Little team track or something right there. Run around. Got a couple more little industries on the left. Little spurs. I mean, you could do work out here for days. Days and days and days. Keep on going down. So there's nothing down here any longer. Realistically, there's another industry right there. Got another gigantic cemetery here. And this is like a passion project. I believe the guy that built this or is building it still is from this area. And he's just talking about harkening back to his childhood and things that he remembers how this area used to be, which is kind of cool. So you can tell, you know, he's obviously got these little eyes for details, which is pretty nice. Another little facility here. What the hell is this? You know that was there. Oshkosh Lumber. So another lumber yard of sorts. And then this is the old shit. What line is this? Hold up. What line is it? Is it this used to be a SOO line too, did it not? I think it did. Yeah, that used to be one of SOO's lines. I'm pretty sure. I feel like I saw a video one time about that. But you got a couple old whistle boards still sitting there, but just look how good that looks, man. Mother Nature taking the land back. And then you can see down here where it's still used because it's cleaned right up. You know, they obviously still take care of the right of way and all that, the curve around to that branch there. And then down back that way goes like towards the river downtown. There's even a 5-mile-an-hour board there, you know, in case something needs to go down there, I guess. So it doesn't get derailed. We'll zoom all the way back over here. Loading. There we go. Yep, and this is the SOO on the left, obviously. Chicago Northwestern on the right, and it keeps going up, up, up until it doesn't go up anymore. There's another facility right here. Which one is this? Bemis. Bemis. Bemis and Pakur. I have no idea what those two do, but they're good-looking facilities as well. And then it just keeps on chugging. I think it'll run out of scenery here. Yep, right about there. So, you know, while it says 20 miles on a steam workshop, this seems a whole hell of a lot more than 20 miles. And then if you've got, you know, 2 main lines running side by side, that's effectively 40. And then you've got all the stuff in the middle around Oshkosh. But, yeah, just wanted to try and breeze through this one. Show you guys around a little bit just in case you were unawares. We've got some more Midwestern stuff, you know, along with the Illinois Central Mikado. Geez, what was that just came out? The friggin' Rock Island RS3s. Now we got this. So the Midwest is getting some representation, which is kind of cool. And this is a damn good looking map. I cannot wait to see what else this guy does to polish this thing off, because it is a banger so far. This is a damn good looking handmade. I mean, this has got to take so much dedication and time making stuff like this. So it is very much appreciated, at least from this guy. But this is a damn good looking route. Again, the Fox Valley Corridor, guys, for the Sault Ste. Marie Railroad and Chicago Northwestern and or Canadian National, if you want to run that modern times. I'll link it down below where you can go and find this and give it a go for yourself. But that's it for today, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. I'll see you next time. Bye.